Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to discuss an essay by Jacques Derrida, Structure, Sign and Play in the Discourse of the Human Science. So the essay is actually very tough to understand, but I am going to give you a very simple and easy explanation and overview and also a critical summary of the essay so that it will be easy for you all to write in your exams. So let's start the video. So what is aporia? The concept of aporia in Derrida's writing and that of subsequent deconstructivists is fairly complex. According to Derrida, aporia is a situation where the very elements that make a thing possible are simultaneously the same ones that make the thing impossible. So basically, aporia is a state of puzzlement, a state of doubt. So let's move to the next slide. Deconstruction according to Derrida. Derrida, who coined the term deconstruction, argues that in Western culture, people tend to think and express their thoughts in terms of binary opposition: white, black, masculine, feminine, cause, effect. So all those terms like good versus evil, man versus woman. Derrida suggests these opportunities are hierarchies in miniature containing one term that Western culture views as positive or superior and another considered negative or inferior, even if only slightly so. Through deconstruction, Derrida aims to erase the boundary between binary opposition and to do so in such a way that the hierarchy implied by the oppositions are thrown into question. So next question is, what is binary opposition? Binary opposition is a key concept in structuralism, which states that understanding is formed through opposition. Example, good versus evil, man versus woman. Derrida argues that these oppositions were illogical and inherently unstable. The structures themselves begin to overlap and clash, and ultimately these structures dismantle themselves. So, according to Derrida, who coined the term deconstruction, argues that Western culture people tend to think and express their opinion in terms of binary opposition. So, Western culture people term used to think and term things according to binary opposition. Like if this is good, this is bad. They used to term things like that. That if this is white, then that is black. So Derrida suggests that these opportunities are hierarchies and containing one term that Western culture views are positive or superior and another considered negative and inferior. So he actually erased the boundary between binary opposition. So binary opposition is the key concept of structuralism, who state things according to black and white, good versus evil, good and bad. So if this is good, means that is bad. So Derrida basically wants to erase this boundary between binary opposition. So next is the critical view of the summary. The French philosopher and a great critic Jacques Derrida was born in 1930. He is surely one of the most influential and complex thinker of 20th century. Structure, Sign, Play in the Discourse of Human Science was originally a lecture delivered by Jacques Derrida at Johns Hopkins University in 1966. And the lecture was later published in 1967. Derrida was critically engaged with structuralism. He comments on what the structure is and how it is engaged with the politics of structure itself. Derrida explains that the concept of structure is as old as the concept of episteme but has never been discussed. So Derrida was critically engaged with this concept of structuralism, and he comments on what structure is, how it is engaged with the politics of structure. So all those things he used to discuss in through his lecture. And then he explained that according to structuralism, the world should be understood in terms of structures. So he was a post-structuralist, and according to structuralism, uh, the world should be understood in terms of structures. These structures have stable centers according to structuralism, but examining the history of structures, Derrida elaborates. As a post-structuralist, he elaborates that one center gets replaced by another. Thus, the factor governing the plate too gets shifted. For example, the center of human society shifted from God to Renaissance man. So he says that the center is not stable, but according to structuralists, the center is stable. But according to him, the center get replaced by another center. While structuralism give importance to structures, Derrida give importance to structurality of structure, which implies that parts are related in a whole. According to Derrida, the parts are related in a whole. According to him, structure changes, it is not fixed. According to him, as he says that structure changes, it is not fixed. Center changes, it is not fixed. He also talks about binary opposition. Binary opposition is the structuralist idea that acknowledges the human tendency to think in terms of opposition. For example, black and white, good versus evil, as I have mentioned earlier. So he says that structure changes, it is not fixed. He also talks about binary opposition, which is the key concept of the structuralist. So he opposed that binary opposition also. He opposed that concept of binary opposition of the structuralist. As a post-structuralist, he opposed all those things. Derrida also talks about deconstruction, which he developed in the late 1960s. In deconstruction, he claims that all texts have, sorry, this is typing mistake, have ambiguity. In brief, ambiguity means something which has more than one meaning. In Derrida's viewpoint, any structure, whether in science or literature, needs rethinking from one position for interpretation. By doing this, the reader can observe the text how she or he wishes to. So Derrida says that deconstruction, which he developed in his late 1960s, he says that he claims that all texts have ambiguity, means all texts have different meaning according to different people. So he says that everyone needs to rethink from a new position to interpret a text, so that the reader can observe the text how he or she wishes it to be. So he says that, as he says, as he opposed binary opposition, so he says that everything is unique and everything is not related to structure. As structuralist says that everything is related to structure, everything should be understood in terms of binary opposition, but he opposes all those things. He says that nothing is black and white, nothing is good and bad. You can interpret things according to you, according to your wish. So that is the video, that is the essay. So I hope you like the video and it will be helpful for you people. I have explained it in the simplest way I can, and I have provided you this important points, key points, so that you can add this to your answer. So if you like the video, do like, share and subscribe. Thank you.